Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to Lexington Steele Live with Lexington Steele and Michelle G. Right here on LA Talk Radio.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your main man, Lex Steele, and we are here on the Lexington Steele Live Show. It is indeed October 6th, 2014, people, and I want to let you know we most recently have joined this new platform here at LA Talk Radio. You guys have been watching us here on radio at radiotemptation.com. We are happy to announce that we are here on this new platform at latalkradio.com. So every Monday night, people. I know, gentlemen, you're watching Monday Night Football, but I will wager this. I will bet you that there's more to see on this field of play than you're going to get on any gridiron on ESPN on a Monday night. Now, I know you're watching those Seattle Seahawks ripshod over the Washington Redskins, but I'm in the hit house with three ladies. We've got Nikki Delano.
Woo.
Say what's up, Nikki.
Hello, mis amorecitos.
¿Cómo están ustedes?
¿Cómo está, papi?
Estamos bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien, mi amor.
Yes. Quiero comer tu chocha ahora. See what I'm saying? Your man speaks double languages, bro.
Damn, you're good.
See what I'm saying? Now, we have Elke the Stallion here. We've seen Elke. What's going on, Elke? It's good to have you back.
What's up? I'm happy to be back. Thanks
You know what
for
I'm saying?
having me.
Yo, Elke be blowing up Instagram and Twitter with these incredible shots. If you've not seen this lady in music videos or the hottest magazines out today, you've got to check this lady out on Instagram and Twitter. Truly an icon. We're happy to have you back. We've had you on the show about a year ago this time.
Was it?
It was about a year ago. It was in October of 2013.
Okay.
And here we are. We got Elke back in the studio. And, of course, my main man, Andre Lavelle, is here. What's going on, Big Andre Lavelle?
What's going on, Big Lex?
Oh, man, we're chilling tonight. Andre and I co-host Fourth and Goal Sports Talk every Tuesday night, 7 to 9 on chocolateradio.com. So, Andre, thanks for joining me here tonight on Lex Live Show.
Without a doubt.
See what I'm saying? We're not talking sports tonight. We're talking about balls of a certain type. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the spectacular posteriors of Elke or whether it's the ball maintenance of Nikki Delano and her specialty, which we will speak about in only a few minutes. See what I'm saying?
Well, she fills out that dress quite well herself.
No, both of these ladies, I'm telling you, people, if we could do this show standing up, we would. But we want to make sure these ladies are as comfortable as possible as we engage in the Lex Steele Live Show.
I've never wanted to be a leather chair so bad in my life.
No doubt. So before we get any further, Andre, to let people know where they may be familiar with you, you are a celebrity personal trainer.
Yes.
As well as a photographer,
Yes.
as well as an entrepreneur. Now, I know for a fact that you met Elke maybe 10 years from now, right?
Elke, whatever.
No, I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly.
Elke.
It was quite some time earlier in her career, and
Oh, my God.
she doesn't remember me, and I'm sure she.
I remember the name.
Yeah.
But you know what it is?
Oh.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. Long time ago.
It's a small world after all.
When I was fresh and
So
young
fresh
and
and so
skinny,
clean, right?
skinny at that.
She was
Yeah.
new.
I was like 50
virgin-esque.
pounds lighter.
It was back in the day?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, but she still had the curves.
time. But you know what it is? I mean, we're all getting older. And I mean, it's
We're getting
been a
better. It's like
long time.
wine. Certain
We're
people are like
getting
wine.
better.
We age like fine wine. Now, all of us here are in some ways, involved in the entertainment industry. So it's really beholden of all of us to make sure that we keep ourselves in the best light that we can. I mean, whether it's training, Andre is also my trainer, so we train 3 days a week. Now, Nikki, you and I know Nikki Delano stays in great shape. I had the wonderful opportunity to experience Nikki for the very, very first time. Now, I want to make sure that people know that they can reach us here and speak to any of these wonderful ladies at 818-570-5399. I'm going to repeat that for those of you that might be hard of hearing. That's 818 570-5399. Now, I urge you to turn down your Monday Night Football and tune in to the Lex Live Show here on LA Talk Radio. Now, Nikki, today, I was very, very excited when I woke up this morning because I knew that October 6th marked the release date of a Lexington Steele production title by the name of Lex's Breast Fest Numero 4, Cuatro.
Yes.
Now, see what I'm saying? We've had 3 volumes up to date. And I'll tell you, Dre, when we came out with Volume 4, when Nikki Delano was in this, I simply said, well, look, I didn't know that Nikki did. I didn't know that you had worked with brothers, like myself. So to jump right into it, that was our scene together was your first interracial experience.
It was.
Now, as a point of clarification, by way of definition.
On camera.
Okay, so let's.
behind camera.
Okay, so now what is your heritage?
I'm Puerto Rican and Colombian.
Oh man. Puerto Rico, you know what I'm saying? I've been in the Caribbean, but I haven't been to Puerto Rico yet.
You have to go.
And you said Colombian? Mm-hmm. Man. See what I'm saying? Well, I've had some very, very wonderful Latina girls in my lifetime, but we had a wonderful time. And I hope you had a wonderful time too.
Oh, I definitely did. It was my first experience, and by far you're the biggest I've ever had. You're my first IR on camera, but behind the camera, it's a lot different.
Right.
But you by far are the biggest I've ever had, and I thought I was gonna actually die.
No way!
Because I'm so fatigued.
No,
but
see, Elke,
once I got comfortable, and I got relaxed, and
that's what's up.
Smooth sailing. Smooth sailing.
Well, one of the Dre, one of the things that we like to do when we have ladies on the line here is we like to ask them about, it comes up very often, whether or not size matters. Now, this is something that as men, we probably want. I wonder myself sometimes, does it matter to ladies? It mattered in our scene, Nikki, but of course it was a great thing that happened that day. The movie will attest that. But Elke.
Elke's fine.
Elke, okay. What do you think about it? I'm going to dive right into it, people. We talked about size. We've engaged. Well, let's talk about it again. In your personal life.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, in your personal life as well. Is this something that ladies think about? Tell us about this. Is there anything to the, it's not the
size of the ship,
size of the motion of the ocean.
It definitely is. I feel
it
like
definitely is the motion of the ocean?
The motion of the ocean. You can have a small penis, but if you know what to work it, I think the guy can actually.
Oh, now Nikki,
come on now.
That's good to know.
But
now, Nikki, you're in Triple X, and in Triple X, Triple X is the land of the giants.
Yeah, I do like size, but I'm saying
you got to be ready. I know that as performers, we both probably go to bed early the night before a scene in preparation for the big game. Now, have you found that in your personal life, is this something that becomes an issue or has been an issue?
I'm like the total
Don't be tongue-tied
opposite.
right
No.
now.
I'm trying to say, I feel like it's the total opposite.
Right.
Size absolutely matters. You don't have to be
got a lot of cushion for the push.
You don't have to be super long, but you gotta have girth.
Yeah.
And I feel like the bigger and thicker you are, the less you have to know how to work it because it just fills me all the way up.
Wow.
So you make like one teeny tiny motion or whatever, and it just, you know what I mean? You don't have to do a whole lot of work.
Right.
That's how I feel about it. You just slide it in and
hopefully it all fit. Now, how do you feel about that, Trey? You're the other guy here in the house.
It's nice to look at.
I'm not a porn star, but if it's not big enough to fill you up, I can hit the Duke shoot, and that'll do.
Wait. You said you can. Wait, Andre Lavelle said he can literally hit the Duke shoot.
I've never elaborate on that, please.
I've never heard it portrayed as that. But explain. You're saying that you would opt for the anal.
Yeah, if it doesn't fill you up going, in the vagina, then hit the other hole. It'll get filled.
But what if she don't want it? I don't do anal.
Have you ever done it? It's something you've tried. I know this is personal, but have you tried?
I've done it one time, but it was under different circumstances.
Okay. Now I don't know how to interpret that, but there's only
say.
one circumstance. It's either going in that motherfucker or it's not.
No, it was going, but it was, You
decided there wasn't the time for it.
It would. I can't say it on camera.
Yeah, you can. This is the Lex Live Show. You can literally say anything.
Okay, I got paid.
Okay, well, no doubt. We all get paid.
No, a lot. That was the only reason I agreed. I don't. It's nothing that I do in my personal life. It's nothing that I enjoy doing. So.
It was, but okay. So it was an experience that was part of work, and then
Yeah,
what
and
did
he
you-
was teeny tiny, so it was okay.
It was a lot easier. So it was almost like you're in and out. Part of the pun. You know what I'm saying? In and out.
It literally was in and out. It was like 2 seconds. Done.
Well, Nikki, have you done?
I do anal all the time. Well, because on camera.
Wait.
You missed out.
I've been hoodwinked. I've been
Lex.
bamboozled. I've
Lex,
been.
I'm not ready for you
Let-
in that way.
Oh
I'm
my
not ready
God.
for you in that way.
Oh,
You know
hell
what?
no.
Have you ever heard that song? Smooth operator. Pardon me. Smooth. Come on, sing with me, Dre. Smooth operator.
Lex, you're pretty big, and it was pretty. My vagina is really small, so it was hard to get it in the vagina. So imagine the butthole. The butthole's even like half the size of my vagina.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So-
it was a wonderful thing. I mean,
It
you
was
know,
amazing.
and we had plenty of lubrication.
We did. We definitely had.
You know,
But I'm saying, it's gonna take practice, and
Yeah.
eventually I'm gonna do it. But your penis is like that.
Well, yes, it
like
is.
that.
Well, if I may say so myself,
It's a great thing.
she doth speak.
But my
she
booty
doth
hole.
speak the truth. She doth speaketh the truth.
Well, hats off to you ladies for doing the anal.
No. Well, Elke has not
Oh,
yet
you
experienced. Now, Elke, over the years, we've been fortunate enough to see your work in magazines and music videos. When we promoted your being on the show tonight, a lot of people began to ask questions as to whether or not you have or would do Triple X. I know that I have
They
to ask
always
you
do.
because people are asking me. Of course, even as I look on my Twitter right now, people are like, "Oh my God, does Elke do video?" Now, has that been something that's ever been presented to you? Have you ever considered it something you would consider?
Presented, yes, many times. Considering, no, not at all. Never.
Okay.
It's like as soon as I take a picture with a porn star, people think I'm about to do porn. It's so stupid. And I have a bunch of porn stars that are my friends.
Right,
like
right.
Beauty,
Beauty
Dior,
Dior.
you know her. We're like best friends. She lives down the street from here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, and it's like, no, because I'm friends with a doctor, I'm not going to become a doctor. It's just
Right.
people are so ignorant, you know?
Well, it's a part of people wanting to see more.
The fantasy, yeah.
Right.
But I think the reason why I've been around for so long is because I never go there.
Right, you keep them wanting.
So it's like that
right.
tease.
Been
that,
right up
yeah,
to that edge.
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. I mean, and Andre, you may attest to this as well. Oftentimes, and guys out there, I'm sure, give us a call, 818-570-5399. Men actually may find sometimes that a woman is so appealing with various amounts of her clothes still intact, still on. It's the notion that sometimes, the pictures that I see that you post on Instagram, I don't even need to see a bare piece of your, a bare part of your bottom or your breast. I mean, it's just like, and Nikki, when you do your scenes, the pretty girls, the glamour shots that we take before the scenes are actually as enticing as the hardcore pictures. So, I mean, guys don't necessarily need to see the butt ass naked.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
I
mean,
think
it's
the
just
curves are essential
dynamic
because they can actually see the curves from your clothing.
and maybe the suggestion is mental because sex
Yeah.
is as much between the ears as it is between the legs too.
You can definitely see some
Absolutely.
curves in what they have on today.
Oh yeah.
And we're actually covered from head to toe in
Mm-hmm.
long dresses, but the booties pop.
Oh my God, my
And
God.
And the boobies, of course.
That's what's up. Well, in your regular day-to-day lives, ladies, I mean, have you found that even walking, whether you're going to the grocery store, to the gym or what have you, is it something that men that recognize you or may not recognize you, but do they approach you? And what do they say when they do approach you? I mean, how do you deal with it? What do they say?
With me, I think I give off a bitch vibe to men.
Purposefully?
Not
Or no?
purposefully. I think because I'm from New York and I'm Latin, I just have like this little charisma about me that
yeah.
I'm like cocky, but I'm really not cocky.
Yeah, they don't know the New
I'm
York
just really
style. I'm from New
sweet and
Jersey.
down
He's from Chicago. Elke's from what part of Germany?
Frankfurt,
Frankfurt, Germany. You've been here for about how long? How many years?
about 14 years now.
14 years now. So you're really you've actually gotten into the groove of LA. But Nick, you maintain some of that New York edge, which is kind of like an electricity that exists within the New York area, the metropolitan area. And I share that as well. So you kind of keep that edge, and that kind of makes guys, maybe keep
a little bit
step back
intimidated and
or
a bit like scared, thinking that I'm gonna come off really rude or bitchy, and I'm not. I'm sweet. I'm down to earth. I'm not like that at all. But I think I give give that vibe off. Because many people have told me that they thought I was a bitch before they
Really?
met me. Yeah.
Oh.
You got a Rosie Perez kind of vibe.
Yeah. Oh my
Do you
God, I
get
hear
that
that all the time.
That's not.
All
Hey,
the
that's
time.
trust
That's a
me.
good
That's
thing.
a huge compliment.
Yeah, I love
Because
her.
everybody loves Rosie, and think about it. Rosie's been around. And I don't remember the year of
Forever.
but forever,
she
right?
has.
And
She looks
still
so good.
and she still is an iconic figure
Yeah.
Yeah.
in American culture. So I don't know. You're going down that road, Nikki. You're gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now one of the things that I want to get out is Elke and I were talking about social media and the impact that social media has had. I enjoy your posts on Instagram as well as Twitter. Ladies, have you found it, Andre? I know you're just now getting into social media, platforms
I'm
as
still
well.
trying to figure out
Still trying
Twitter.
to figure it out, but you got some good posts on there, and people, you got to tune in and see. What is your Twitter, Andre? What's your Twitter there?
PCW Fit.
Now PCW stands for.
Pit Crew Warriors.
Now, Pit Crew Warriors is the name that you've aligned with your training
Personal
regimen
training.
and your okay.
Yes.
So, how many days a week are you training celebrities and clients?
5 days a week.
Okay, so people can go on Facebook or Twitter and find out how to contact you.
Yes, PCW Fit or PCW Bootcamp on Facebook.
Okay, so now have you seen these ladies? Have you seen their media?
I've seen some of Elke's. Yeah.
You've actually captured some of Elke years ago.
Yes.
But as of late, these
Some of my
ladies,
favorites.
Yeah,
I love
thank
that
you.
shot still to this day. I
the
love it.
ones you guys did together.
Yeah, we was on a roof. Where were
We
we?
were downtown LA.
Your hair was
Some
black,
I just
right?
remember
Yeah,
it's
she-
rooftop.
Your hair was black then,
Uh-huh.
right?
She was so shy. I had to coax her to get her to take her
No, you know
clothes
what it was?
off.
It was hot as fuck. My feet was burning up. I remember it because we were on a rooftop and I was barefoot, and the sun had, heated up the
Yeah.
roof, whatever. It was like metal or whatever it was, and I was standing on my tippy toes like my feet was burning.
And her legs were
Right.
popping because she was on those toes.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
man.
good.
Yeah.
It was a good shot.
Wow. Now, I mean, speaking of being fit, I think, ladies, you guys both work out regularly. What's your regimens include?
I know I have. I have that right there. I have that right there. That's my downfall. But I do work out 5 times a week. I'm really into weight training. I don't do much cardio because I want to maintain and gain muscle. I don't really want to lose any weight. So for me, I do tons of weight training. One day legs, one day back. I alternate my routines and my workout, and nutrition, of course, is important.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Mine is this, but
That Coke bottle
Your
right
vice.
there.
Yeah,
You see what I'm
that's my
saying?
vice.
Well, nutrition is my thing too. I mean, Andre's always, really harassing me about my lack of adherence to any nutritional value to my meal plan, so to speak. And Elke, I have to say, some of your posts, are you familiar with the term? Food porn? Is that what it's called?
porn.
Food porn.
Yeah.
It's the new thing, where people are posting pics of their fantastic meals. Now, Elke, do you train often, or what's your regimen like?
I don't. I really, really, really need to train a lot more.
Uh-huh.
I'm really bad. But it's like, you know what it is? Because I'm not uncomfortable with the way I look. Like, I'm comfortable, so I
Right.
feel like, why should I? You know what I mean? I'm
Right,
not
right.
one of those people that's like, oh my God, I hate my body. I want to lose this. I want to do that. I'm not. Like,
Yeah.
I actually do like the way that I look. So that's why I'm not
Oh, I
as...
believe me.
I
We
mean,
all
there's
love it.
certain areas of my body that I definitely should probably,
Well,
refine
no.
and
You
define.
know what? No, we're not even talking. We're definitely not getting into. We don't need to,
Like bodies.
into the fitness thing. But what I was getting at was the whole thing about food porn. Some of the meals you posted are beautiful. Something like
I don't post a lot of food, though.
Even today, you posted something that had was it earlier today where you had like a lot of different.
Oh,
food
that
on-
was brunch.
It was brunch.
I
Okay.
don't cook, but I make one hell of a brunch. That's actually
Yeah.
I enjoy making brunch for like my friends. I invite everybody over like Sunday or Saturday. Yeah.
Well, that's the cool thing, because a lot of times what I'm finding out is that food porn is something. It's interesting. I mean, people post these. As a matter of fact, you've posted a few of the meals that you've eaten.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a new thing.
Most
I'm gonna
of the
get
food
into
that
it.
I post is I purchase it.
Yeah, no doubt. But I mean, but it looks really good, and
Yeah.
Lord knows, I mean, your man Lex Steele on any given night may be eating a box
Cheetos
of frosted
on pizza.
Cheetos and frosted flakes. See what I'm saying? It might be for dinner on a Thursday evening. I might be cooking up a pot of grits and some English muffin and some bacon. Your
Sounds
man
so
Lex
good.
Steele. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? It's the single life. Boom, boom, boom. See what I'm saying?
Bachelor.
You're so
No, that's
funny.
right. I need to have, a wonderful woman like either of yourselves in my house saying, okay, Lex, we're going to sit down and have a good
Elke
meal.
can make you a good brunch.
You know, Lex,
I'm going to join one of you guys for lunch.
This day and age, most women, well, I'm not saying most, but I don't cook either. I can't cook. I think it's more
I'm not a
of the
big cook.
older class that school that knows how to cook, but
Right.
like most of my friends, they don't cook.
Okay, so
I'm
then
so used to my family cooking for me that, I got spoiled and I cook minimal things, nothing.
Okay, then let me ask
Nothing
both of you then.
fancy.
Is there anything left to that old adage, the way to a man is what?
Through his
Through
stomach.
Yes,
No,
I
it is.
Is there any
know
truth
it
to that?
is. It is. You can
Let's
always
put it
buy
like
the
that.
food.
I can cook. I just don't enjoy doing it.
Okay.
It's nothing like, oh my God, I'm going in the kitchen and I'm, Thanksgiving dinner. What? I don't even know how to make a turkey.
Right.
So it's also the cleaning up afterwards. I don't got time for that.
Well, I mean, it does help. It's a skill that someone's going to have to
But I do
to adapt to.
laundry. So if I ever have a man, I do great laundry.
Let me tell you something. I'm quite sure that anything that you do, the people, I got to admit to you, a fantasy of mine. When me and Andre work, when we're lifting weights, when we're working and training, we talk about a lot of different things. So Andre's privy to a lot of my fantasies that I discuss that I may not discuss and share with you on air. But one of the things I would like most is for a hot friend, a hot woman to be preparing a dinner for me, dressed in various forms of fetish attire in the kitchen in high heels.
Every man likes that.
You know what I'm saying? Because not for nothing, but if I could just come and rub up on you while you're, at the stove, see what I'm saying, frying up some good food.
Can think of something else to do with that
You know what I'm
oil.
saying? Word up. You know what I'm saying? Like, not for nothing, but I'm saying when if I say, hey, why don't we have steak tonight, right? And the lady's cooking up a nice porterhouse or a nice ribeye or New York strip steaks, you know what I'm saying, with some mashed potatoes and some, I digress. But
9.5 week scene. I see a
you know what I'm
9.5 week scene.
know
Oh,
what I'm
I
saying?
was in there.
Wait, you were in the actual movie?
No, the actual parody.
Oh, the parody. Okay,
The
okay.
parody.
I'm just going on my food fancy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I would like to slide up on a lady right now and just show her a little something while she's prepared. Because when I see a steak, right, and make no mistake, when I see a big steak, right, and just juicy, right, I'm thinking about a woman. And when I look at a woman, I'm thinking about a steak. See what I'm saying? It's what it is. It is the way to a man through the stomach, and there is some credence to that old adage, the way to a man is through their stomach. You know what I'm saying? Now, different generations, as we see in today's market, in today's place, I mean, it may not be the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I don't know. But
Well, from the ages of 21 to about 28, it has nothing to do with the stomach at all.
what's it got to do with?
The dick. That's the way to get a guy.
Is there
Between
truth to that?
21 to between the ages of 21 and 28, that's all a guy thinks about.
Well, okay. So, ladies, between those ages, that demographic, what are you guys thinking about in regards to the other sex? I mean, because both of you guys are in your mid-20s, so I mean, you guys.
Probably. I mean, you just want to have fun. Nobody's thinking about food
I'm thinking about food.
all the time.
Not all the time. No. I'm just thinking
guess.
about when
Their
I
sex
when I have a
drive is
good
high.
meal. I'm thinking about a good woman and a good meal. There's some there's
I have a mini
synergy
fridge
with
in my
that.
bedroom, so that tells you something right there.
Wow.
I don't have
you know
ti-
what?
I don't have time for a fridge in my bed. When it's in the bedroom, it's. Hey, I'm saying, if anything, it's gonna be a microwave.
Hey, look out.
You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. What's up, Nikki?
I believe so. Yeah, men between 21 and 28, their sex drives are really extremely high.
Yeah.
So
Now,
Yeah,
do either of you
I
have
think so.
men in your life personally, and boyfriend, husbands, or
no, I just date.
yeah?
I just
okay.
date.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
being in the
yourself?
industry is pretty hard to date.
Within the industry. Now, yourself, Elke, any personal, any man? Okay.
Nope,
So,
nothing.
okay, along those lines, have you felt that, being an adult performer, being a mainstream model, that we're guys, and both of you ladies are ladies that men, pay to look at in whether it's a magazine or whether it's a music video or whether it's an adult video production. Have you found that in these cases that it's all about your looks, or do you get a chance to really portray your personalities through your work?
I think for the most part, the guys just look at the image and the looks. if they come to like the conventions and they meet
Right.
us hands on, then they can actually see who we are personally. But for the most part, it's about the looks.
Well,
because they don't know who we are. They can't. How can they?
Well, social
determine-
media now gives people direct connections. I mean, have you found that your fans really
That's
connect
true,
with
yeah.
you on personal levels now that they can reach you? I mean, think about it. 15 years ago, no one could necessarily, speak directly to Elke or speak directly to Nikki. They just watch them from afar. Right now that people can reach out, not literally reach out and touch you. Is it something that you find is a hindrance? Is it a problem, or is it something you just deal with? I mean, the fact that you go on your cell phone and a guy is speaking directly to you. I mean, do you find yourself answering direct messages or what?
Well, we sign up to these social networks, and we're basically giving our consent to be on there. So therefore, it's a mutual consent for them to get in contact with us through our pictures and leave comments and stuff, because we're the one posting up.
That's
and
true.
I don't have my page on private, so they're allowed to leave comments. So.
And they're presenting a fantasy for the most part. I don't think that they would be putting, the guys don't really want the reality. It's like, I'm a contractor. I'm a college student. Can you help me with my calculus?
Elke,
you look so smart in your thong.
Literally, let me say, people, Elke can literally put a photo. You could be standing, she literally could be just stepped out of the shower. You post on Instagram, you got 3,000 hits. I mean, I literally have seen it happen where you'll post something, I'll come back to an hour later, you got 2,500, 3,000 hits. I mean, but by the same token, you have a beautiful daughter, if you don't mind me mentioning. Now, do you find that when you post a picture of you and your daughter, that gives an insight into Elke, the mom, that is different than Elke, the Stallion, the model? I mean, how do you juggle that?
Well, I like Instagram, especially Instagram, because I feel like I have control over how I want to portray myself to people. I put the pictures up that I want to put up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I can control whether I want them to see, my kid, me and my daughter, whatever. So having the control, yeah, it's kind of nice because people do see a different side, and a lot of people, they come, they're like, oh, we love those pictures. It really shows you in a different, in a different light, and with your kid, and you really, you always with your kid. I post a lot of pictures with her on my Instagram.
She's beautiful. Your daughter is so beautiful.
So
like,
it's kind of nice that showing them the other side, and a lot of people respond to it very well. They love it, And also when people do it, some people, they leave comments on some pictures. Oh, you never comment back, and it's like you have also control over that. You don't have to comment back to nobody. It's your Instagram. You can do whatever you want.
Right.
It's not comment-gram, it's Instagram. I'm already sharing my pictures with you. Be happy.
Right.
Why are you complaining?
It's like giving your
That I don't
it's
comment back.
actually a
I don't need to
gift.
comment back to nobody.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sharing inside my life. Like, be happy that you at least can look at my pictures and leave a comment.
Because otherwise, they would have to either pay for the magazine or hope to see the video.
Some people get so angry. It's like,
They
you
do.
should never comment back. It's like,
Well, Nikki, how do you deal with that? I mean, as an adult video star, have you found that people are demanding that they do get a response from you? And if you don't respond, have you found that people have a problem and have a beef with you because you may not?
I get so many negative comments because, about the porn stuff, and that they're like, oh, you never comment back. You know what I do? I basically delete the comment and block them.
That's what I do.
I don't even say anything anymore because I get it all the time. Like, I'm over it. I just block them and that's it.
Well,
I block a lot of people all the time.
So do I.
It's like
I
the
think
block party.
silence-
You have to filter. You have to filter these people.
Yeah.
no
Exactly.
doubt.
I totally agree.
Well,
And
because-
silence.
And then some people come on Twitter and they were like, "Oh, why'd you unblock me?" Then they like want to beg that
Or
you
ask your
unblock
friends,
them.
or ask your friends.
Yeah, because they
see it
really
all
want
the
to see
time.
your pictures, but because they fucked up, like I'm cold blooded too. I just like block and delete the comment.
Since you all are in entertainment and in the public eye, do you feel an obligation to create or keep up a particular persona?
No.
Do you, like you say, you work out quite a bit to maintain, because you do make a living off of your physical beings, your how you look. It's all about the visual. So you said you don't work out too much, you're comfortable with yourself, but because you've been in the game so long and you've had your mother now, your body has changed. Do you feel an obligation to maintain or keep a certain look?
To a certain degree, but not so much to maintain for the media, for the people or my fans or whatever, but more for myself, because I'm getting older, and I don't want to be sloppy and fat and ugly.
Well, Elke, I mean, you're not.
It's
you're
more like
getting it over, but you're not old. I mean.
No, but I
look,
mean,
let me
you
tell
know, I
something.
mean, I started
Yeah,
years ago. You know,
got
I'm still
so long before you even come close to being considered
Old.
being considered old. I mean, so we can remove that from the you know. I mean,
I just feel like I've been in the industry for so
Right,
long
okay.
that I'm kind of like on a level where I don't need to give a fuck about what nobody
Right.
thinks. Really, you know, but I've always been like this from day one. I just did what I wanted to do. I mean, when I started, you know, when we shot together, there was no Caucasian hip hop models.
That's true, too.
None.
Right.
You know, and I always was like, I just do what Elke wants to do, not disrespecting any other people or, you know, making you know, just, you know, like cat stacks type shit. I never was like, you know, that type person, like a mean person. But I always felt like whatever makes Elke happy.
Right.
That's what I do.
That's interesting that you brought that up because, you know, quite honestly, you know, I definitely consider myself a historian of hip hop, and it is true that prior to your inclusion in the hip hop, you know, media as an iconic model, okay, you know, they're really by name. The only other name that comes to mind might be obviously Coco Austin. Jenna Shea, who's a friend of yours as well, right? Jenna, is it Jenna Shea? Other than that, I can't by name. I can't recall of any model of European descent within that particular area. So now, along those lines, have you found that? And I know we spoke about this a year ago, but for the people that are watching tonight, they may not be familiar with this. Have you found yourself in is there any type of competitive environment that you find yourself in when you're on a set and there are other models, maybe there are other black models, there might be Latino models? I mean, is it a thing where like, wow, now that there's a European American, you know, on the set? I mean, have you found that there's somewhat of, you know, is there some, you know, gnashing of teeth or rubbing of elbows or so?
Not anymore because I established myself and most people,
Right.
they know who I am and they know the kind of person I am. I'm, you know, cool, like
Right.
low key. So if there were any negative, you know, vibe towards me, I don't really take it in. I kind of like.
Well, so most of the new models, they come and they already are familiar with, they know who
Right.
you are. So it's kind of like, they're like, oh, wow. You know, have you found that there's women, there are other models like, wow, that's Elke right there. I mean, have you found that? I mean,
yeah,
like, okay.
all the time. They, you know, and
Yeah.
most of them are friendly. They might behind my back say, you know, are not friendly or say,
Right.
but it doesn't.
But it's a
really
lot of,
concern me.
there is some elements of jealousy, comparative
Always,
jealousy. Okay,
yeah.
okay. Now, Nikki, in your case, how long have you been in the industry?
Almost 4 years now.
For almost 4 years now. So now along these lines of competitive natures of being a model, have you found that as a Latina model, have you found that there are opportunities that are presented to you that may not be presented to other models of ethnic descent? Like how do you compare with? Do you find that you're cast for roles because you are of Latina descent, or have you found that does or does not matter?
For me, I don't think it really matters because I can play a Caucasian. You know, I'm naturally I'm redheaded, green eyes, light skin, so I don't feel like it's a factor for me.
Now you change your hair from time to time because
Yeah,
you've been
jet black, platinum, my red hair.
Now which is the red is the natural?
I'm naturally red.
Okay. Now you're red down there as well.
Yes, I have a fire crotch. I have a fire crotch.
Oh no, see what I'm saying? Ginger.
Yeah, I'm ginger. So going back
No doubt.
to your question about the whole image thing, I feel like I do have to keep up because everyone, they look at me as like the fitness girl of porn, and I have to maintain that look because I know like here and there I'll let go a bit and then I'll get, oh, Nikki's getting fat, getting fat, and I gain 5 pounds and Nikki's getting, they call me fat and I'm like 110. So I have to maintain an image that I'm the fit girl of porn,
Right.
versus, you know, me letting, you know, just softening up and, you know, filling out my curves. I'm not allowed to do that because I'm considered fat.
Well, that's one.
It's
you know what?
retarded.
Do you want to break that though? At some
being,
point.
I like being the fit, but eventually I will. Like, as you know, you get older and you go into a different kind of genre of adult world. You have to.
First these ladies are talking about old. You guys are both like, I mean, I don't even think
Not
30
old,
has
but
that.
I
You guys
mean,
haven't even approached 30 yet.
Not
and you're
old,
talking
but
about old.
I've been around for a minute. You know,
Okay,
and I realize
but in
that
the
I'm not,
real
you know,
world, okay.
I'm not like the.
But Elke
the
and
new
Nikki, when either of
comer.
you are, say like if you say tomorrow, if you stop doing adult media, Elke tomorrow, if you said, hey, I'm not going to do any more mainstream media, in the real world, you are so far from old. It's not
Right.
even something that comes into the thought process. But I do understand, as we all gain tenure within our careers, that it does seem like you are getting long in the tooth, so to speak. But I mean, 4 years in the industry, within that 4 years, have you moved your career in terms of, I'm going to do anal, now I'm going to do interracial?
That's why I waited. I waited to a point where I was ready to do IR, not because behind the cameras it's a lot different, but I'm saying each girl is so different and so unique in each case. Some girls, they come in, they do everything. And their longevity of their careers won't last. So it's good to space out, you start off girl, boy, girl, then doing anal, and then doing IR, and then mixing in, whatever else. So
I want to come back to that a little bit later on. But one thing about the whole, modeling and gentleman's entertainment thing. Now, okay, when you started within the confines of mainstream media, have you found that there are things that you do as a model at the beginning that you progress to begin doing later in the middle of your career and then later in your career? Are there steps within the mainstream modeling, television, magazine? Are there steps within that particular genre?
The only thing that I can think of is that once you do magazines and videos and people get to know you and you have like a larger fan base, of course, your pay increases and you host a lot more events, because now all of a sudden you have the whole, promoters, they book you to promote the event because your fan base is so big now. So that's kind of like, that changed
so
a lot.
people actually pay you to come just attend a party, to show up on a red carpet, whether it's in LA or all across the country.
Right.
Wow. Okay. That's got to be a lot of fun.
It is.
It's like
you
being
get to
paid
travel,
just to show up.
You get paid to party, but it has a downfall because now I'm so spoiled that I don't even want to go out unless I get paid.
No doubt. No, I mean, but I can attest to that because, and Nikki, I'm sure you can attest as well. It's kind of like even with sex. I mean, sometimes it's like, you know what? Well, now I'm a guy, so I can't front.
Yeah, that does not work for you.
I don't want to hit you. I don't get paid.
Sometimes,
whether I get paid or not.
No, that's not true. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I got to shoot that day, right? And I'm like, oh, man. And Andre, well, he knows because I'm telling him, man, I don't feel like fucking today. And then I'll be like, well, you know what? Then I'll think about who the girl I'm working with. I'm like, well, yeah, maybe I can.
Right.
Maybe I
It's
can
like,
make.
I think
I think I can make it in. Yeah, I can
There's
make it
some
in
guy
the work
right
that
now
day.
working in an auto shop, changing the motor. Like, fuck you, Lex.
I wish I could fuck for money.
Damn, I gotta get up and change a transmission in the morning. He's like, I gotta fuck a couple chicks today.
Damn.
But I fucked yesterday. God damn it! Oh man, I'm tired of the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Elke, when you got started, how did you go about making the transition? Because I know when we first started, you were an athlete. So you had more of an athletic physique. So what happened, or how did you make the transition, or say, I'm gonna get into the urban or hip hop genre?
Well, my first job was the Outcast video, so I kind of like started.
I like the way you move, right? Yes.
I never really did
remember it
anything
well.
else, really.
I saw it many times.
And when I was in Germany, when I was modeling in Germany, mainstream, they always told me, you too big, you got too much this and too much that. So I was never, even if I would have lost weight, I would have never been the skinny model type. So when I came to America and, in Hollywood, going to auditions for music videos, so I kind of like it was kind of like my niche. I kind of like ended up doing that because that's what they wanted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we shot, I was trying to push you towards sports, athletic, and glamour.
Really? I don't even remember that.
Well, you know what? I want to ask you this thing. Elke, have you found that, has there been a push? Has there been a developing necessity for models to go nude? And what I mean by that is has nudity become maybe less of a big deal than when you started? I mean, are girls beginning to are mainstream models beginning to do nude shots as well? Is there less of a frowning upon nude modeling?
I'm not sure because I don't shoot nude unless it's covered, like implied nudity.
Right.
But no, I think it's the same. I think when I started versus to what's now, girls are still doing the same, bikini, lingerie stuff.
Okay.
I don't really know. I mean, they do body paint now.
But have you found that the envelope is being pushed, even with clothes on? I mean, is it because not for nothing, but there people can definitely agree with me here. A lot of music videos, right, are really pushing that envelope. I mean, what Nikki and I do, we go all the way over the line. But what we're seeing in terms of a lot of the music videos and a lot of the magazines is stuff that is almost bordering on the pornographic. Not saying it is, but bordering on the pornographic.
Well, I think it's because the direction that technology is taken with everything going digital, there's a lot fewer opportunities for print media, even music videos. There was a time when music videos cost millions of dollars,
right?
And they were cashing out and paying people grips. You were making a career as a music video model,
right?
But now it's changed, and with social media, anybody with an internet connection and a phone can take a zillion selfies and become known for via the internet.
Well, speaking of that, have either of you had to deal with TMZ in terms of social media now and the immediate impact of TMZ as an outlet for breaking news? Have either of you had to deal with TMZ in a positive or negative situation?
I think for the most part, TMZ is a negative.
Well,
I don't really see anything really good on there.
Well, it definitely breaking a number of stories for better or worse. But I mean, have either of you had, not necessarily a TMZ clash, but have you ever had to deal with TMZ, maybe interrupting an afternoon when you're out on the town? I
shot with them like 3 times.
And was it cool?
Yeah.
Or did you find, okay.
It was fun. They come up with, it's mostly the same 2 guys that in LA that running around LA. I think they have like different guys in different cities. I think they're all freelance videographers.
It seems like
and the guy that always ends up shooting me, he runs. He I don't know. He just like out of the blue. He's there, and he's always fun. He's always nice.
Okay, let me ask this: do these guys like what was the movie with Dave Chappelle? With the smiley face, it was an herb movie about smoking herbs.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And Snoop Dogg was a brother that always showed up when they rolled the blunts. And he just appeared when somebody had the blunt. Hey, can I hit that, dog? Well, let me ask you: does TMZ do they truly do they pop up from behind a wall or from behind the bushes? And
well,
be like,
the one time I seen him, I was at a red carpet event and they were there. So and because it was the same guy that shot me before. So he shot me again. But they usually just ask me regular questions and then they make it into something fun. But it's never, to me, I never found it disrespectful.
So you never turn around all of a sudden, the guy just emerges from behind a bush.
No, one time he was. I was at Starbucks and he was like, "Oh, what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" It was. But then, like I said, they made it into something,
right. Which was
it was
cool.
never negative for me, per se.
Okay. All right, because
I've never done anything negative for them to speak on, you know.
And that's true too. One of the things about both of you ladies is that I personally have never found anything in the media that would be either disrespectful or negative about either of you. And a lot of times, we do see social media hopping on any opportunity to shed, to place anyone in a negative light. And certainly enough, Nikki, being an adult performer, we definitely have to walk a line where we have to carry ourselves in such a way that belays what we do as a profession. Now, have you found that your people in your close personal lives, whether it's your family or close friends of yours, have they ever had anything to say about your choice to do adult media?
My family, of course. My family, I'm Latin.
Right.
So we're Catholic. Mm-hmm. So being that said, it's a no-no. When they found out, they were extremely upset at me. So we don't really talk about that when I go home.
Unless you're
my family,
priest.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
Exactly.
We're not talking about those type of movies. And then Andre Lavelle released, let's just realize what he's watching when he's online in the PM. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, so family.
Yeah, so we don't really talk about that stuff. But and my friends from back home, we don't really talk about that either. So. We don't really talk about those things.
Well, okay. Now, Elke, when you're in your personal lives, have you found that people that on a personal level, how do they regard you as, when they say when they see your media, Elke as Elke the Stallion. I mean, how's that work in terms of when they see you, whether it's in a bikini or whether it's now, and just on another note, you have personal tailors that create some of the stuff that you appear in as well, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so have you found that your family members like, hey, wow, or it's like, hey, I don't like, that's a little too tight, Elke, or are they like, wow, I like that, what's been the reception with people from your personal life?
Well, my family doesn't live here. They live in Costa Rica.
But your media is international. I mean, you're an international
Yeah,
icon.
but my parents, they're not that
They made it,
savvy.
okay.
No, you know what? My parents, or like my family, growing up, they never cared what I wear, what I do. They were always very liberal about stuff like this. So I don't think they would have a problem with that.
Do you have any
now.
brothers or sisters?
I have a sister.
Okay, now does she know
No,
that?
she's fine. She's fine with it. Like I said, we were raised like that to just, do whatever makes you happy. Nobody ever judged or
Is your sister, she's still in
She's in Germany.
Deutschland? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool. Younger, older? Or?
older.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
cool.
So you came to the States. Do you think that being in LA has turned you out to a certain extent? Because I mean, I didn't see you didn't have all these tats and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like
No, I actually, when I was 14, the first time I dyed my hair blue, I was always crazy.
Whoa,
I
that
actually
term
got
turned you out. I don't know.
No, I mean,
that may not
as
be
far
the
as,
correct
like,
term,
being crazy, no,
you were like,
I always-
LA, she went to LA, got turned the
No.
fuck out.
I was actually 15 when I got my first tattoo.
Yeah.
And I did that without my mom knowing. They were on vacation, and then she called and was like, I got a tattoo.
Where'd you
like,
where'd
what?
you put it? Because
I had a butterfly on the back of my back, and then when
Okay.
I was 16, I got I had my navel pierced and my tongue pierced. So I was always crazy.
Now I'm going to ask you something because we're getting into piercings. I'm going to ask you people, and you know what I'm saying? When Lex Steele's in the head house, you know where it's going. Do you have one down there?
I have no more piercings at all.
Yeah, no more. Just come all out. Have you ever had one
No.
down there?
I'm not, that's to me, I'm not into pain, and
I
that's
know,
must
right?
be real
Yeah.
painful getting
Yeah.
that pierced.
Yeah.
No. I'm into tattoos. I'm not really into
Yeah.
piercings.
Now, Nikki, do you have any tattoos or?
I don't have any tattoos or
piercings?
piercings.
Oh, really?
Nothing. I
Have you
had
ever
my
thought of it?
tongue pierced, my belly pierced years ago, but I took everything out. I don't.
Yeah.
What
me
about your
too.
nipples?
I had it done 4 years ago and I took it out.
What about, are your nipples?
nothing.
pierced out? No.
No.
Is it
Hell
painful?
no.
Is that
Oh,
painful?
it's so painful. It's
Yeah.
oh.
What?
I gotta go.
Oh, you know what, people? Before we get out of here, Elke does have to leave. Now, Elke has an engagement that she has to attend. Before you get out of here, where can people continue to follow you on social media?
Of Instagram, of course, which is it's Elke the Stallion, and then Twitter is Elke the Stallion.
There we are there.
Yeah.
There we are there. Well, thank you so much, Elke,
No,
for joining us
thank
for this
you.
half an hour. We love to have you. I know you got to run. People, Elke the Stallion, all the way from Deutschland. That's Germany for those of you that have been living under a rock.
Right.
She comes straight from the Deutschland, otherwise known as Germany.
World Cup. Woo. I'm
Another
still
World Cup
celebrating.
champions. No doubt, no doubt. Thanks very much, Elke. We will talk to you and
Thank
see you
you.
very, very soon.
Bye.
All right. So as we continue on, we've got some time to go. We got about 12 minutes to go. Now, one of the things I want to get into as we continue, Nikki, tell us a little bit about what it was. I'll see you later. Thanks very much, babe. Bye. Now, when you started doing movies, did you come out? You didn't start doing anal right away. You didn't start doing interracial right. Did you begin doing girl right away?
Actually, boy, girl, and girl.
Okay. Now, did you find that girl, did you have an attraction or any experience with girl action prior to Triple X?
I did, but it intensified when I actually did it on camera because I actually got to learn techniques and things I didn't really know. I was kind of a little bit of a virgin with girls, I can say. I've had experience with girls, but never really to like the full extent as I did on camera. And, so yeah, I learned a lot of great things.
Well, now and people, if you're wondering, what is happening upon Nikki's lap right now, she has her beautiful little friend with her. Let's introduce the people out there to your little friend.
If they know me, they are my Instagram page. Benzo Benzino.
Say hello, Benzo.
Hi, baby.
No doubt, the little guy right there. Now, have you ever done any type of photographic modeling outside of Triple X?
Fitness stuff, yes. Lingerie things. I actually did modeling prior to coming into the adult industry.
So was that your introduction to it? How did
That
you?
was the introduction to it. I think for the most part, most models, they get introduced to that XXX world, and it's their option to either take it or not go that route and continue the the mainstream stuff. So I was doing the modeling for about a year and a half, and then I got bored and I wanted to test it out and thinking no one's gonna find out. And
Well,
that
4
was
years
the-
ago, I mean, the internet was in full force. So, I mean, did you think? I mean, because not for nothing, but I mean, you do. And nowadays, you do one thing, and the
Yeah.
world knows it. And you can't pull it back.
You can't. So the first month in, my family found out. Someone at the gym told my uncle, then my uncle told my family. It's like a chain reaction. So yeah, it's once on the internet, one scene, they found out.
Right. Right.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't look back. I mean, we just keep looking forward. Now, in terms of as a performer, I mean, it's in people. One of the most competitive environments in any media, any entertainment media, is the adult industry. And certainly enough, as a female competitor, I'm sure that you're well aware of how many new girls
Constantly
are coming
new
into the industry.
girls.
What are some of the things that you do as Nikki Delano that gives you that staying power? Because before you and I worked together, I was very well aware of who you were and how large your name was. So it was a big thing for me to have you in the movie, which is Lex Steele's Breastfest #4. Tell us a little bit about what you do, or what do women do to stay on top in such competitive media that Triple X is?
I think with me, I'm always on my A game. No matter what I can do, I can be a teacher, a lawyer. I'm always on my A game. You always have to keep pushing forward and do great scenes and continue to work in the adult. And I do tons of feature dancing and I do the acting. I had like a horror movie come out, and so I'm constantly in the eye of.
So you have a mainstream horror movie coming. Okay.
I'm constantly in the eye of, the adult industry, always on AVN, and, I'm constantly doing things. I never sit back and get lazy because, there's always 18-year-olds that are going to come out and try to, they don't even have to try.
Right.
They're
brand new.
They're
I mean,
brand new,
it's like,
so it's like
right.
you always have to set yourself apart and just keep pushing forward and keep putting in the effort. Mm-hmm. Keep networking, have a publicist, I'm always doing something, new projects, always, you can never sit back and relax. You always have to keep busy and just keep pushing forward, because if not, you're going to get left behind.
Wow.
You're going to get left behind.
So in branding yourself, is there something that's unique to you that makes you stand out above everyone else?
I guess I got the Latin thing going on.
Man,
I'm
I
known
like
as a
big
Latina.
butts, and I can't not lie. Some other brothers can't deny. Nikki, let me tell you something. People, when I got to my set a number of weeks ago, and Nikki was shooting for me, and they were my partner and co-director Kevin Moore with Evil Angel was shooting the glamour shots, the glamour stills before we began shooting.
Yeah.
And Nikki was shooting outdoors in the sun. Andre, I'm telling you, if you were there, you would have wanted to take out your own camera. I had my dick in my hand, actually. But you know what I'm saying? But the sun was glistening off Nikki's beautiful skin. And your posterior, let me tell you something, people. It's obvious that Nikki puts in a number of hours, in the gym, because I'm saying, have you found that that there's always emphasis on your posterior? Is it something that you just say, okay, that's what it's about, or is it something you want to have guys say, hey, look, I'm more than just a pretty face and this big Latin booty? I mean, how do you deal with that? Because I was enamored with your booty when I saw you.
I think that's a big role in my scenes. The guys looking because of my butt.
Like Jennifer Lopez, like booty.
I don't think it's that big. I'm
Well,
pretty
just from the
petite.
Latino standpoint.
Yeah.
Right? From the Latina standpoint, it's like, Latina girl, we all are familiar with how good Latina pussy is. I mean, not for nothing. Some of the best, no disrespect, but some of the best pussy in the world is Latina. Trust me on this, people.
And I'm an
had a little
energetic,
experience.
a little energetic fuck bunny. Like, I'm
Right,
really
right.
energetic. So I think in my scenes that portrays to, aside from the booty, the guys want to see booty, but I put a lot of effort in my scenes, and, I like to enjoy my scenes and, like, get into them.
Okay,
not
now
just-
speaking of such, when you're in your scenes, have you found that directors, and I know I asked this of you when we did our scene, do you find that directors are constantly asking you to speak Spanish during your
Yes,
scenes?
all the time. Because for the most part, a lot of girls in the industry now, being Latin, they don't speak Spanish, and it's stupid. So I do speak Spanish. So for me, they want me to speak Spanish and throw it in there. And on top of it, the guys love it.
Let me ask you this thing.
The guys love it.
Explain to us why when a Latina sister uses the word poppy, why is it that and I will personally say that when I'm working with Latina ladies, some of the things that you guys say literally will make my dick harder. What is it about the use of the word poppy that turns men on from all generations, all ethnic backgrounds? What is it about that? What is it about that?
Well, say it first. Let's hear her say it.
I puppy.
Yo, let me tell you something. I'm going to turn these cameras off right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Nikki's down for it. I got my checkbook out. We already have the cameras online. Our program director, Sam, is ready to keep pressing the record button when Nikki says poppy. What is it about that type of...
I think with Latin women, poppy is like a passionate word. It's very passionate. And when we say it, it's something that comes from within and just like... we just feel it when we say poppy.
You guys use it like a gun. It's like a Latina girl has a loaded gun, and whenever she feels like shooting a motherfucker down, she just drops a poppy bomb, and it's over.
Poppy bomb.
Have you found that like when you say like you're in the middle of sex, right, and you've had your fill, you may have already come, or either you're ready to get the fuck out of there. Are there things that you can begin to do that can bring a guy to orgasm to just get this the hell over?
Sweet talk the guy.
Yeah.
Talk to him in his ear, say like papi and ay qué rico mi amorcito. See, like in his ear, just
Oh
talk to
man,
him.
When you start rolling that tongue, I'm about to, people, if you see this table begin to lift up, trust me, it's not my knee. I can't front.
The sweet talking for sure.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah, it'll get them to that point where they're about to pop. So.
Yeah. Now, Dre, have you found yourself that do you have particular proclivities towards Latina women or Asian women or black women or white women? What are some of your flavors that you find in
I'm
particularly
not as fortunate as
mesmerizing?
you, so I just like who likes me.
I just work here. I just work here. Make no mistake. If these beautiful ladies were not being compensated, I might be like the rest of you guys. I might be, at home. Well, no, I've definitely found a great place for myself in this industry. But what do you find yourself? Are there inclinations, or does it matter?
It really doesn't matter. Yeah. If she's sweet and can, satisfy me, it's all good.
Right.
If the energy, the chemistry is there, it's all good.
Now, Nikki, have you found that Latina women have a different way of approaching sex that may distinguish you from other women?
I think so. Yeah. Like a Latin woman versus a white woman, she's more caressing. Like me, I'm very I like to caress my men, to
passion.
kiss them, passion, rub their hair, just I don't know. The caressing part is very important for me. I like to rub a guy's arm.
So that's something you brought from your personal, your personal attaché, if you will, into your persona as Nikki Delano.
Yes, absolutely.
And how'd you get that name? How'd you come up with your name?
It's very similar to my real name. And Delano means anal in Spanish. Delano. So of anal. So
of the del meaning or of the del in Spanish. Ano is Spanish for anal.
Yeah.
So in your personal life, you enjoy anal?
I do enjoy anal.
Oh man.
So, but Lex, yeah. Lex.
Oh, no. We could. But trust me, Nikki. We could practice.
I need a practice course.
We can practice.
Multiple practices course.
We take it. Take it easy. Kind of work it in there. No cameras. People, believe me. I'm promoting myself here, trying to see if I can say something.
You can start with the mini steel and work your way up to the max steel.
You can go to aluminum, and then you work your way up to steel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So before we get out of here, I want to make sure that people are well aware of how to follow Miss Nikki Delano. So Nikki, tell people that are out there enjoying the show tonight how they can stay in contact with you.
You guys can follow me on my Twitter page is @Nikki Delano, NIKKIDELANO. On Instagram, Nikki Delano, and my official website, NikkiDelano.com.
And Dre,
I will
where
definitely
can
hit you up.
Okay.
and then people can find you, Andre.
Twitter, Instagram is PCW Fit, and on Facebook, Andre Lavelle or PCW Bootcamp, and PCWBootcamp.com.
And if people want to look into training with you here in the greater Los Angeles area, they can contact you at either of those venues
definitely.
as well. Okay, cool. Now, before we get out of here, we definitely want to make sure that we've definitely got out our social medias. I can be reached at Lex Steele 11. That's LEXSTEELE 11. as well as on Instagram, Lexington.Steele. Now, Nikki, you've just appeared in Lex Steele's Breast Fest #4, available on evilangelvideo.com. Is there anything else that you're doing right now that you want to make people aware of? Will you be touring?
I have so much going on, but I don't think we have enough time. But this upcoming week, I'll be in Tampa for Night Moves. I'll be hosting a bunch of events, so follow my Twitter. The week after that, I'm doing a charity event in Miami. And then October 23rd through 25th, I'll be feature dancing at Philadelphia. I'm at Cheerleaders. So I have tons of dates coming up. I'll be in the East Coast for the most part. So follow my Twitter, and you guys can see my upcoming tour dates for my feature dancing, my hosting, and, stuff
Okay,
like
so
that.
that's Tampa and Miami.
Yes.
In October, people. So if you have any, those of you, those Floridians out there, if you're not checking out the Florida State Seminoles, if you're not checking out the Florida Gators, in which you guys, I believe, just lost your quarterback recently, or as of today, for potential, we won't get into the legalities of that, but if you're not watching the Seminoles or the Gators, you want to check out Miss Nikki Delano in the state of Florida, for the most part, all throughout October, correct?
Yes.
And then come out to Philadelphia. So people, I know you're not watching the Eagles with the debacle going on there, so you have nothing better to do than to come check out Miss Delano when she is blessing the city of Philadelphia. Is that going to happen in November?
That's October. October 23rd through the 25th.
The 23rd to the 25th at Cheerleaders, is it?
Yeah, in Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? I might make it there myself, people. Lex Steele's from New Jersey, so I might be getting back there. I might follow Nikki, into that club. You might find me in Cheerleaders, making it rain up in there. I may not make it rain. I might make it drizzle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, times are tough out here, this motherfucker. And then Lex Steele might make it a dribble out there. Lex Steele came out through quarters on the on the floor. I tell you so. So, Dre, anything you want to get out here before we get out? I know that you and I will be tomorrow night.
Yes.
On 4th and Goal.
Definitely.
That's Man Cave Sports Talk on Chocolate Radio.
Yes.
That's where we'll be at. And so people tune in next week, next Monday. Here, people, making no mistake, every Monday night, I want to see you guys with us here on the Lex Steele Live. So now next week, we do anticipate the return of Michelle G. Certainly enough, she does extend her apologies for not being able to make it in tonight. And then we will see her next week. But Andre, you and I will be hosting 4th and Goal Sports Talk.
Yes,
Man
sir.
Cave Sports Talk tomorrow night. We're going to be on from 7 to 9.
2 hours, baby.
2 hours talking sports. Man Cave Sports Talk. Nikki Delano can be found, your website once again.
NikkiDelano.com.
And Twitter.
At Nikki Delano. And Instagram, Nikki Delano.
There it is. Yes. So for all
and
the good
Gizmo
people-
has a page as well.
Benzino.
That's Benzino. She's so cute. And quiet too.
Yeah, he's very quiet.
Unlike her mom, his mom, when it comes to the sexual situation, we
If
Nikki
my head was
Delano.
on her lap, I'd be
He's
quiet
my
too.
baby.
If I was on her lap, my mouth would be somewhat occupied.
So you'd be quiet as well.
You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So for all the good people here at Lex Steele Live, I want to thank you for joining us here tonight. We had Miss Elke the Stallion, the wonderful magazine icon, as well as video vixen, and of course Miss Nikki Delano, who has joined us thankfully here on the show, and of course my main man Andre Lavelle for joining us as well tonight. A little tongue twister there for the people out there.
Appreciate the opportunity.
No doubt.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a wonderful night with Miss Nikki Delano and Andre Lavelle. This is Lex Steele. I'll catch you next week on Lex Steele Live here on LA Talk Radio. Peace.
Whee!
We are outie.
Yay.
Nice night, people.
You're listening to Lexington Steele Live with Lexington Steele and Michelle G. Right here on LA Talk Radio.